you hear the commentary? What the exact words? This looks unstoppable over the line, and Lahiff can barely believe it. Oh, the look on his face. He's got two.
I was like, show me that face. Show me that face, Max.
More or nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of More or Nothing with Ryan and Max. And while we are in serious danger of sounding like the ultimate reach around podcast, let's be honest, there's only one place to start, and that's with Max, the magnificent multiple meat pies, the saviour of Bristol Bears Rugby Club.
My God, what a day! One of the sacred memories I'll take from this great game of tip and tap. My God, that was fun, lads. There it was. 70 minutes. There's 10 minutes left on the clock. I, Harry Thacker, and Jake Woolmore enter the fray. Welford Road's baying for our blood. All is lost. We're playing like Teflon. The ball is dropping. We're nothing sticking. Tick follows tock, follows tick, follows tock. And then Harry Thacker starts being Jason Bourne. Oh my God. It's making mind breaks left, right, and rhubarb. I get to this breakdown. We're close to the sticks. The white line beckons. Phase after phase. Then I suddenly get my hands on it and trip over some tiger's carcasses and score my first. I'm like, okay, this is good. We're on the board. We're on the board. I couldn't believe it, but we're there. We go back. Harry makes another break up the field. Rampant running off. Throws a weepy ball off his left hand. Straight to Saviour. I'm back there again. Then I notice Stevie's chatting to me. He's perched on my hip. I look up. There's just mutants everywhere, so I think, all right, I'll pick at that one. Hassel Collins, winger, very close to the breakdown. He's having it. This is not your environment, son. So we go straight through him. I couldn't believe it. We scored again. I still thought he was going to tackle me from there. We managed to ride that out. Stevie Lewiter, thank you very much. And then we're in. And then I realised you could feel the energy of the stadium change on that second try. It disappeared. It just suddenly evaporated, and then everyone's tails were up. Next minute, we go again. I almost did it again, but then Visa was waiting for me. Jasper Visa's there. Absolutely ends me as I pick up the ball. Oh. It was like a hit by an avalanche.
I thought this is it. I thought, no way. He comes on and scores a hand.
I didn't even look up. I didn't even know who it was. I've turned over and I just see him now. I'm like, that would explain that. And then Maggie Bradbury in the end coming through. But mate, lads, yeah. That was a special day. I was high on life, just full of euphoria and good things.
Max, I now know. Now that I'm sort of not playing anymore, we'll get onto that in a minute because my head's all over the place. But
oh really?
No. But now that listen. Now that I'm not playing anymore and I'm watching, I now know what Mark feels like a proud father. Like when you're watching games and you're like, come on, Maxie, you can do it. I was like, almost in tears. Like, I can't believe it. Like going back and watching, because I had obviously seen bits, hadn't watched the game. And I saw little bits on social media. I saw you singing in the changing room. And I'm like,
how good?
Hold on. What the fuck has happened here? So I'm like, part of me was like, don't go and watch it. You need to go and like look back at the game before you can go and look at everything else. And oh, what a beautiful, beautiful scenes. Beautiful scenes.
Oh, I was so, yeah. It was glorious, lads. It was glorious. Like, given how the game was sort of evolving and then coming on and having that kind of impact in, like, such a like sincere result that has, like, serious consequences for the rest of our season, I was just like, this is pretty cool.
If only they didn't have a pen a few weeks ago, and they were like, "We're going to sign. We'll do the signing in a few weeks, Matt.
Yeah,
hold on.
Hold on." I'm like, "Oh God." Those tiny boxes, eh?
They got themselves a bargain.
It showed the shackles are off. You weren't worrying about that contract anymore. You weren't worrying about re-signing.
Yeah.
You know, you were just there in the moment, present. Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Hey, come on, the celebration, Ryan. We've hammered Max all season about not celebrating with other people's tries, to be fair. Funny that. Even, do you hear the commentary? What the exact words? This looks unstoppable over the line, and Lahiff can barely believe it. Oh, the look on his face. He's got two.
Show me that face. Show me that face, Max.
Lads, I was ecstatic on the second one. I lost the plot. But yeah, mate, fair play though. Full house at Welford Road. They shackled us for most of the game. I was like, they've done it. Fair play. Like we were rattled. Like we just wanted. It wasn't quite sticking. Like obviously we expect to score a lot of points, but mate, we almost nilled lads. Like that's how well their game plan was going. And then suddenly, I knew Harry was. I knew because Thax hadn't played for ages. I knew something weird was going to happen. In that he was back at his old club. He was very quiet, like sort of like a bit nervous. And when Harry's like that, you're just like he's about to go full Jason Bourne. It was awesome. That's so cool. So cool.
And but you're right. Like Leicester pretty much just controlled the game and had the ball for 60, 65 minutes. It was like it was untouchable for you. You couldn't get near it. And then next minute, it just the tides turn. And then obviously Mike Brown gets that second yellow card, which turns into a red, where there should have been a couple of them this weekend, shouldn't there, Harlequins? But but that suddenly, then you get your backs up and off you go. Max Lahiff just comes on and tears it up. Boys, we're going to the finals. We're going to the finals. No. Stop. Calm down. Calm down.
Sports are fickle mistress. It's still quite congested, lads. It's still very congested. We just have to control what we can control. Sarri's next at home, off the back of beating Bath. They'll be tasty. Then Quins away at the Stoop. Woof.
But that's what you want, because you want to be playing the people at the top.
Yeah, you want
to be able to knock some points off them. You want to be going tap for tap. Talk to me about the change room, and please tell me you went out and had a few beers after the game. Please, because you've got a week off this week. Please.
No, I didn't actually. I had stuff to do and like
stuff to do.
I didn't need it. I was so ecstatic inside. I was like, I just bathed in it.
So you went to IKEA instead and got some furniture for the house.
Yeah, great. Cheers.
But the bus was good. Had a few on that. It was just awesome, lads. But yeah, changing room was that was the loudest I've heard Blackbird. Like we were bouncing. And when AJ got that final kick, when all the boys flew on, like, lads, it was so good. Like, you just see how much it meant to everyone. Like, Carl Sinclair was losing his mind when we got it done. It was so funny. But coming back from the second try, I could see the bench just losing it, just giving me so much abuse. It was class, lads.
It's almost a better way to win, isn't it? It's almost think to last week where you just ran away with it and there was nothing about it. And
exactly.
Then it's like complete polar opposite.
It's like that. It's so much more theatrical, isn't it? You're completely right.
But by the way, Leicester, I swear to God, McGinty, when he's kicking that kick, they were a fucking ball hair away from charging that down as well.
AJ was battered. Like ribs missing. Bloke was an absolute warrior. He was a savage. Like managed to stay back, back on, gets the kick, but he was they tested out his suspension all game.
And the social media just off the chain, and those abs. I showed my missus that. Yeah? I was like, look at the state. Look at the state of this man in this photo. And I showed that last photo where rippling, and she was like, that almost looks fake. Is it actually real? I was like, what do you mean? Like, is that not what I look like?
We had a dinner party on the Friday, Ryan, and I literally. So before they were like asking about like the pods of the people, and I was like, "This is odd." Didn't get a picture up of your body, right? Got the picture up of like Max's re-signing video, which again is just all rippling laboratory made abs. Yeah, it just comes up in conversation. When you run out of conversation, anyone listening, just show Max's abs.
Just go to for a bit. Shreds you. Absolutely shreds the body comp.
It's pretty special. So we asked a few questions in here, and we'll jump in and out of the questions that we asked on social media. You can jump over there. We're going to do a little link tree form where you can constantly submit what you want. But someone actually wanted you to do this episode topless, Max.
Okay.
After seeing that, I mean, feel free to whip off the t-shirt whenever you want, or don't, in case Bex walks in.
It's kind of cool.
There's another one here. Well, yeah. So I suppose this sort of is part of what we're talking about. Is Max's physique, being that lean, the ideal physique for a prop? If so, why do we see big players like Antonio?
So we'll answer this honestly, but basically, the way I see it is, I think everyone's really subjective. Don't you, Rye? Like, I've seen so many huge I've seen a lot of fat guys with a good amount of subcutaneous tissue play incredibly well, even great athletes. Like, I remember Stefan Armitage. Do you remember those years where everyone was calling for him to be in England? Then he went to Toulon. Al Ryan, the head of S&C at the time, was like, bro, you have to get leaner. You have to get leaner. You have to get leaner. Steph Armitage, man of his treats, loves his hedonism, quite chill cat. Absolutely having none of it, was losing it, getting angry. Started playing worse. Man just wanted it. And then he went to Toulon. And you know what they do in France? Hey, bread, wine, cheese. My guy's neck minute, he's European Player of the Year winning.
Also, some people seem to get a lot of injuries when they lean up. Like they lean up. Actually, the fat's quite a good protector.
Yeah, it's not even just a protector though. It adds inertia to impacts, doesn't it? It adds weight. So some people, it's easier to put on fat than it is to put on muscle. So guys can put on more weight with a little bit more fluff, and then as they come into collisions, they just feel better because they're heavier. It is a game of conkers. Like, the biggest conker wins at times. So that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, well, there's a few big conkers out there. How does Max stay looking like Adonis, and why did Ryan never look like that?
Very, very good question. Sorry, have we got the name of that person? That is great.
Mark Tudor Edwards. No, that's from thanks, Adam Russell. I'm not too sure. I mean, I had a problem with putting on weight, but I've got my mother's shoulders.
Did you struggle to get when you started pro rugby? Did you struggle to get heavy?
No, I was all right at the beginning, but I dislocated my shoulder at 18, and everything went downhill after that.
That doesn't help, yeah, because you can't
destroyed.
Throw mass on the upper body when your shoulders burst.
And then just thought nothing of it. I was pretty powerful, so I didn't need the rig. How do people know? Try not to put too many topless photos on the internet, especially now that you're not playing. It could be a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? Just me, just on the golf course now with my top off.
Why are you doing the ropes in your?
Yeah.
Why? With the kids watching you.
I also then went on to show Bex more stuff. I was like, "Look at this re-signing video," and she was like, "What's he doing with that rope?"
You meant to jump over it.
Oh, amazing! Oh no, Max, I'm telling you, I was genuinely like a proud father. And remember, Mark used to say about your mum and dad, even Mark's mum and dad watching us play rugby
all the time.
But now I feel like, I look at it, I'm just like, go on, boy, go on.
Yeah, it'll live long in the memory. Sacred.
Do you think something to do? Has it got something to do with the mullet? Because here it says, could the right hairstyle be the secret that unlocks rugby greatness, the Samson effect? And also, would Maxi Boy fancy joining the Mullet Society? They've been in touch. The Mullet Society are wanting you to get involved. They've got a thing on Instagram, Max.
What happens? Well, yeah, no, I'm down. But what happens if you join? But I mean, this is sticking around for a little bit, I reckon. Yeah, let's have some fun.
It seems to have done some special things.
2 hours in business.
You and BVD have are starting to feature on them a little bit.
So mad, isn't it? It's the fringe on BVs though that makes me a little bit. Oh no, that's too far, Brad.
It is. I think you should grow a fringe. I think you should grow a fringe.
We should get BV on. Actually, he'd be so funny.
How was Mike Brown after it? Did you sort of come across him? Because he would have been.
He was, because usually I can chat to him a little bit, but he couldn't talk to him. which is fair enough. I understand that. So, when you see a player after a game that you sometimes talk to and they're in a bit of a space, you just leave it be. Coley came over, had a chat with him, made 250 starts for Leicester. That's mental. Imagine how many he's had off the bench. So, with back in the day with Castro and that, mate, that's incredible. How durable for a title. I think I only remember him having one bad injury, which was his neck, and he got opted on, and then he came straight back into it. And mate, the bloke's a machine. Still playing for England, 35, incredible player. But yeah, so it was nice to chat with him. He's good crack.
Going back to the Mike Brown thing, you've got a feel for players like that because that's not the end of it all. It's not the only reason, but it was just that little bit that you boys needed to sort of give you more hope, to give you a little boost to go, hold on, we're down to 14 here, we can actually go and chase this one.
It was, yeah, we definitely needed that. That definitely helped, absolutely. But
what was Pat saying
at the end? Oh, just he's never in doubt, never. Great fight, always believing, staying in the fight, boys. He was, but yeah, you could tell he was pretty exasperated. He was he looked kind of adrenal. He was very relieved. But
what was the vibe then, Max, on the pitch? Because you obviously we said it, but 19 points down, I think just over 10 minutes to go. What was the sense? Even when you were coming on, I know you guys were chomping at the bit, but there's, how were the 15 that were actually on the pitch at the time? What was the sense?
To be fair, I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be worse, but the energy was pretty good. I was looking around, guys were chatting, shouting. I remember before we came on, Gabs was screaming at Crane and being like, "Bring the bench on. We need energy." That was quite cool. I was loving that.
Who was shouting that? Sorry?
Gabs Ibitoye. He was like, "Shift the bench now." It was so funny. I was like, I was like, my man's a winger just screaming at us. But people were very aware and they were thinking about stuff. And in elements of the game, I still felt like we had parity. The set piece was going well. It was just our shape play wasn't quite sticking. That last pass was just fading. Yeah, I think it just took a little bit. That's why I was sort of talking to Harry. I was like, Harry, I need you to do some weird stuff today. Before we came on, I was telling him, I was like, you need to just get weird. I know what you do. Just do it. And then me and Wilmore we'll just hit the rucks. And then fortuitously, I was there for some pick and willies, which I'm which I love. So happy days.
I'll tell you what, there's a beautiful social media clip there. If we can somehow put Gabs Ibitoye in a war helmet, but we need reinforcement. Bring the troops,
it was wild.
We need a tin helmet just shouting over, we need backup.
Max in a 300, the 300 outfit, which is somehow.
Yeah, I was like, you good boy. Yeah, I like when he loses it. It's fun. He gets so emotional.
Big Pat did reference the bench. He said, listen, the fucking bench came on, brought us plenty of energy, got us going. Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't need to say the bench. All he had to say was Lahiff, but that's fine. The bench is enough.
You call the project players or something? No, what is it?
System
players. What is that? What is system players?
Well, he always the system. He talks about his system being the solution to unlocking any opposition. So the system is the solution. So we are the system players.
I brought on the system players, and the system kicked in, and you won.
Yeah, Dave Rennie used to call them the spark plugs, the fucking spark plugs.
The spark plugs, yeah. I like the spark plugs.
Max, another one just here. There was plenty about the mullet. Has the mullet given him more confidence on the pitch? Yes or no?
Yeah, I guess it gives a sort of an aura of invincibility, doesn't it? A little bit more follicle than it could have. Yeah.
Come on, really?
Yeah,
no.
Mullet Society. That's for you, Mullet Society. That is for you. Do other front rows hate Max for his unreal rig?
I think so. Willie sometimes hates on me. Yeah, fair play. But everyone else I seem to get on with around the league. I haven't had too many that hate me for it.
Yeah, I do know.
Get bullied for your rig then.
Yeah, sorry. Not many other props. Not many other props in the changing room have got their tops off that quickly though.
You reckon I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. Pat was the one who told me I was on the Bevtecheries for the song. So I was like, all right.
All right.
Here we go.
Fucking too right. Hey, you got it, flaunt it.
If you got it, yeah, absolutely.
And last one, sorry. Obviously, Maggie, he goes over and scores. Big Maggie scores that final try. He didn't look very comfortable after. The shoulder.
No, it's fine, yeah. But he was fine. But it didn't look great, did it?
No, it didn't.
He was like, oh, poor Maggie.
And he's on his way back up to the Berg.
I know, so sad, mate. I'm gonna miss that man. So he's also like last 2 seasons been probably our best player, which is wild to me. I would have just showed him the money and kept him, but such is the way of these things.
But you've just done a straight swap. You brought Bill Matter down and sent Maggie back up to Edinburgh. So.
Yeah, I know. But with one, you've got an unknown quantity, and with Maggie, you know what you got. It's always a bit, I don't know how it all works, but I think Magnus, mate, he's scoring so many tries this year as well.
I know. I question why he's not getting more of a look in for Scotland. I know the back row is really strong, but you've got to think, like, he's still young enough to go and do the job.
Exactly, and he's so hungry for work. He's a monster.
Budget was tied up with re-signing Max Lahiff. What can they do?
I was right down the bottom of the reminders.
Do you think Pat was like, who?
Oh, let's see how he goes. He's getting a bit old. He's getting a bit long in the tooth. See how he survives the season.
I reckon they left it so long because it's got something to do with you being fucking late for everything. So they thought, you know what? We'll give him a bit. We'll give him a bit of his own medicine. We'll leave it really late. Leave it really fucking late. Talking of lateness, boys. Talking of lateness, Mark. We were due to be on here at 7:15. I was on here at 7:15 because I had panicked. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be late. After talking about it. Mark 7:22, Max Lahiff 7:18. So 3 minutes for Max and 7 minutes for you, Mark. So we're going to start.
Longest I've ever been.
Hey. So we're going to start totting up these. I'm actually going to start making a little tally because there's been a few comments. We asked people to get in touch with some ideas of fines. Someone's jumped onto the YouTube and has gone like pretty heavy. He's given low-level fines, mid-level fines, high-level fines. I love one of the ideas. For Mark, he spelt Mark with a K, so that's a fine. It's Mark. He's gone a high-level fine, has to be tackled by Max at full whack. Pads allowed. I would
do it, but I don't think much.
Can I have one of those like suits on?
Yeah.
It says you're allowed pads. You're allowed pads. One of the ones from what's his name? JKMEZMA. Okay. There's which I don't think this is a fine. I actually think this could be a new section for Max in the mid-level. It's read 50 Shades of Grey excerpts in his dulcet tones.
Oh, so, but do you remember we did do that at some point? We used to do the book.
I do like this one though. I love the idea of this one. Max, the high level fine view is you've got to ask Pat Lamb if he fancies going for dinner sometime. Just the two of you.
That's so good. We have to be on the call.
Some boys
have to be on the call.
Then I just have the phone there in my pocket.
I am not joking. That could be up there. Like we'll have to work out how we're going to put these across. Just having a look.
Wait, but Ryan, remind me. There was a very funny one you told me. I don't know if not rehashing, but it was a while back. There was what was the one where you got an academy graduate to call the owner of Glasgow?
Yeah, he had to phone this. He had to phone the CEO of Glasgow. We were like, "Listen, you've got to phone up and ask for a contract extension or something, like a new contract. I think it was, and a pay rise." And but he had to do it like you see on the Lions tour. He had to do it in front of the group on loudspeaker. Everyone had to be quiet. And before it happened, he knew it was coming. He phoned the CEO.
The CEO knew it was coming. Sorry.
No. So the player,
great.
The CEO knew it. The player phoned him before it. The academy boy phoned him before it and said, "Oh, just a heads up, I've got to give you a call, and I've got to do this in front of the boys." And the CEO was like, "Oh, okay, well, thanks very much for giving me the heads up." Came straight to me as the captain at the time and was like, hey, Ryan, just want to give you the heads up. So-and-so's been in touch. I think this is even more of a fine. And so...
That's outrageous.
Yeah, but listen, this is how it gets even better. It was Nathan Bombrys, right? What a legend for this. He then went and changed his answer phone message so that when this academy player stood in front of the group and phoned the CEO, right at training, we're all sat there, he phones the CEO, it goes all the way to voicemail, and we were like, listen, you've got to leave a voicemail if it gets to that. And it's like, hey, it's Nathan Barmbury's here, CEO of Glasgow Warriors. Changed his voicemail to, if this is Gregor Brown or whoever it was phoning me to I've already told the captain that you have already preempted me. And the boy's like, you daddy.
That was so good.
Oh. How good is that? How good is that?
All the boys just lose it. Oh,
I'm trying to remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, all the boys lost it. And I can't remember what happened, but the fine got worse because that would have been
anathema.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan, you would have seen the worst side of Ryan. Like, he goes into like the perfect line, like so clever for his like
Ryan, the rugby purist.
Punishment. Yeah.
Man, Nathan Catt was a legendary prank caller as well. Pretty sure Carl Sinclair dabbled back in the day as well. Some real good ones.
I shall be placing this cap onto my head for this one to do another shout out. Max, you need to get your hat involved, by the way, next week. But thank you again to our sponsors that are Wolf Craig Distillers. They support us all the way. We're here. We're not far from the end of the season. They're the ones that got us there. Max, you can head over to their website, which is
wolfcraig.com.
You can bag yourself a beautiful whiskey or a gin, or you could start looking at flights to Dubai like we are, because it could be happening. There's a live event potentially on the horizon, boys. Had a good chat with the guys on the Palm. A rooftop bar above 11. Go check it out. But yeah, very exciting. We could be heading over to Dubai to do a live event after Max has won the Premership final. How good would that be? We'll give you a week to get on the piss, Max, and it'll be around the 18th of June that we're looking to do it. Few things need to be put in place yet, but keep your eyes peeled. For anyone out in Dubai, drop us a message. Let us know if you'd be keen to come along, because it could be happening. Us three heading to Dubai for a few days to do a live show, and we'll have to make sure it's as loose as the Alfie Barbary one, but it won't get cut. We will drop it.
I'll have nowhere to escape to either.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got that.
I'm locked in. Dubai has it.
We've just got one gripe, one moan from someone, Bainey Staby, saying, great podcast as ever, but talking of fires, why can't you pick a day of the week to broadcast and stick to? The podcasts are all over the place. So if you decide from now on, podcasts will broadcast on a Wednesday, and if for some reason it doesn't happen, you all have to face a fine, and the person who has caused the podcast not to happen faces the heaviest fine.
Who was that? Who would that be, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. There's also quite a funny one here. Courtney Laws is a puss. Some South Africans just calling Courtney Laws a puss. He's a puss, man. Thanks for your comments. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep messaging in. Keep DMing us on the MAUL or Nothing show. We'll keep asking some of these questions, but we will come together with a bit of a fine system. It's very important to keep this on time, boys.
Absolutely, the dice of death.
All right, boys. Let's move on. I'm sure we should really just dedicate the entire show to Max's 2 tries, but we probably also should just sort of poke our noses into the other results of the weekend, which, let's be fair, means it's going to keep going down to the wire. Technically, even Exeter in 7th, still in with a sniff of a playoff place, definitely. And apart from Max's heroics at Leicester, probably the big result was that thriller at Twickenham, Harlequins and Northampton playing out a hell of a game. Lots of wonderful tries, but also a bit of controversy as well. But boys, very entertaining, right?
Yeah, incredible game. It's sort of what we expected, though. Twickenham, Suns up, man, the boys showed up. It was class from both
What
teams.
was it called? The big summer blood.
They always call it the big game, don't they? The big one. No,
the big
Quins,
big summer something. Big summer something in April. But
yeah,
it was. Do you know what's funny though? When you look at that game, it had a better fucking atmosphere than when England played.
mate, how good was it?
It was ridiculous. Like the fans chanting, singing songs. I suppose that's because they're faithful, aren't they? They're faithful fans. It's not a corporate thing where it's just you get loads of
priced out of the purest rugby fans.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more like fans that have been there doing it every week and they're singing songs, chanting. Yeah, it seemed like a fucking good atmosphere. And it was standard Quins again, wasn't it? It was standard Quins, just to and fro, forward and backwards. But yeah, Northampton could have done you boys a bit of a favour, Max, because I need you to have a bit more of a buffer. You're on the same points as Quins now, 49. And were you watching that game just fucking obviously desperate for Northampton to win? You want them to do the job on Quins there, aren't you?
Yeah, 100. That's what we wanted. But I think we wanted Sarries to beat Bath, so that fell our way. But yeah, that was a tough one. It's given how the table's standing, lads, it's mental, so congested.
Yeah, but aren't you looking up? Aren't you looking up rather than down? Like, I'm just sort of flipping it around, saying like, obviously you wanted Northampton to beat Quins, but ultimately you're only 6 points behind Northampton. Like, as in, it's congested looking upwards as well. So surely having the people above you losing.
Who have Saints got next? Who have Bath got next? You check.
Because you could do
Newcastle, sorry, up in Newcastle, and Northampton have Gloucester. So yeah, I mean, sorry, no disrespect to that, but obviously those two teams struggle a bit more than the others this season. So yeah,
a bit more.
just trying to be kind.
Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. But you could catch Sarries. You could actually make the second spot and get a home semi. So. But yeah, that game, Ollie Slightholme again. We talk about him every week. We need to do something on that bloke with the black boots. But fucking hell, he's top scorer in the Prem as well, isn't he? Top try scorer in the Prem.
Yeah, he's probably leading some mental stats for defenders beating as well. He's a horrible man to tackle.
They're looking good. But it was, you're right, like a game of just forward and backwards. And anyone that was at the beginning said, "Oh, rugby's dying," and rugby's in a bad place. From the rugby we're looking at the business end of the season at the moment, it is exciting.
And stuff, and it's very exciting, man. So good.
The tables tell exactly that story. I mean, I was just glancing the Prem one, when you've got every team down to 7th has won at least 9 out of their 16 games, and actually only Northampton have won 11. Everybody else has won 9 or 10. You're like, it's so tight, and we'll get onto the URC, but again, URC, apart from one Scottish side seemingly pulling away, are doing fabulously. It's a great time. We love rugby, right?
Just give me a love for it again. But it is so exciting. But there's a few big talking points in that game, Quins versus Northampton, aren't there?
Go on then. Fine. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go straight to the one you actually want to talk about. And I'm hoping that there'll be some, we'll sit somewhere through the middle on this. But yeah, Ryan, anything on your mind? Sorry, Ryan. You seem to just have something there.
Well, do you remember a few weeks ago where there was a bit of a cock up and there was a certain Herps on the bench, yellow carded, that came back on early, and it sort of helped Harlequins there. Well, I think there were. If I was a Northampton fan, I'd be pretty upset, because it was the way that he went to his pocket.
So sorry, explain to those who aren't sure about all the cryptic clues you're giving what you're talking about, Ryan.
Yeah, sorry, I should give more of a story to this, but Danny Kerr, head-on-head collision with the big man Courtney Lords. Actually, I thought that was on the edge. Was it yellow card? Because the whole time he doesn't know what to do. But he's too high.
loves tackling upright, by the way, for a night. He's like, no, I'll do it. I'll take the full whack, lads. Just straight up in the grill. But yeah,
body, head, and all. So he gets the yellow card, doesn't he, early on in the game, and then later on in the game he goes through. I think he plays Mitchell, is it? Dives through, plays Mitchell before the ball's out. He says afterwards in an interview on TNT with Ugo Monye that, I thought the ball was out, but with a smile in his face. Well, he takes the 9 out. Carl Dixon puts his right hand to his pocket as if he's getting a card out. And it's almost like he realises and then stops. That's that's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, but
so
no,
if you're
but
a
that's
Northampton fan.
Okay, so Mitchell does lift the ball, all right? It's not actually that people are really irked by it. It's the fact that he pushes Jack Ram, who's the first cleaner to that breakdown, before he gets from the side. So as they're running back, Jack Ram and him are coming to the breakdown. He pushes Jack Ram. Yeah. No, sorry. Is it Ram?
No, yeah, it was Ram.
James Ram. Yeah.
Pushes Ram out the way. He's obviously first cleaner. He's going to clean that breakdown, more likely than not. And that is a yellow card offence. That's cynical. That is pretty cynical play.
So you're saying there was two offences?
Potentially. I mean, the second one, you can sort of get what he's doing, but because Mitchell's lifted the ball. But
hang on, so wait, let's go. Right, so but Ryan, before you give your take, the official explanation from the RFU head of professional game match officials, Paul Hull, was that Dixon had removed his hand from his pocket to fully assess the situation because he wasn't immediately sure whether a ruck had been formed or it was a tackle only. Having decided on the latter, meaning care was legal to actually enter that space, he penalised Danny for that push that Max just talked about on James Ryan. So that's the explanation.
The fact they need an explanation.
But off a line break as well, it's just they had to explain it though, because my man's Freudian slip in there, isn't he? He's like, he's about to quick fire.
Yeah. Like they were reaching for the holster, pull out the pistol.
Yeah, and then no gun.
And then no gun. And then Danny Kerr obviously gets substituted, and as he's running off, because the old looky sideways eyes, got away with that one.
And then and then to add insult to injury, is all the pundits post the game are just laughing about it. So so all the Saints fans are losing their damn minds, which is absolutely understandable, and the wider rugby sort of audience, I have no doubt. So the optics of it just don't look so good as a
exactly, and exactly what you say, Max. Like, it's the chat afterwards. Listen, and I'm all for it.
Get it.
Being a pundit now, you want that. You want that insight. You want Danny Kerr coming over with his kids, chatting to Ugo Monye, who's best mates, and they're sort of having a laugh about it. There's a human side to it, but also you look at like the Northampton fans, and they're going, well, hold on. Like, this isn't right. If it was at Franklin Gardens, what would there have been a difference? Can you imagine how raging they would have been? But I am saying, on the flip side, it is good. But Carl Dixon, ex-Quins player, probably
I don't think that. I personally don't think that they're.
I wasn't saying that. I don't know why you two.
I personally don't think it has anything to do with
you literally said that. You literally said that.
I just said Carl Dixon used to play for Quins and there's a good mate, Danny Kerr. That's all I said. And you both went, I don't think that. Well, you don't think what?
I just don't think the perception of Carl Dixon being an ex-Quins player has any sort of. I don't think he has, unless you go into deep subliminal sort of psychology. Oh, this guy used to be, and then he's not done it. I think he's a professional ref, and he would have made the right.
I agree. But put myself in the situation. Okay, we're going to put me in Carl Dixon's shoes in a Glasgow Warriors match, for example, where one of my old mates has done something, and it could be have a huge bearing on the end of the season, potentially semi-final up for grabs.
Yeah, but is he going through?
He's not thinking that. Yeah, he's not thinking that. Come on.
I'm not saying he's thinking that. All I'm saying is, if I put myself in his shoes, I would be going, no. Who's that down there? One of the boys, a Max Lahiff in amongst it. Oh,
you'd throw it at me. You'd be like, No, but God, it's a tough situation for him.
It is a tough situation, and I suppose the question there is: should he be allowed to referee a club that he used to play for?
But I feel like if we could see, if we could see all the sort of all of his games that he's reffed, with in a Quins game, I'm sure it would be such a normal thing. Like, when has this happened before with Cardiff? And wouldn't there be some controversy here with a Quins game for him? I feel like it's the same with like when Glenn Jackson was a ref for in the Prem. Like, he wasn't going around handing out Sarri's dubs. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not going to buy that narrative.
Max, have you ever been refereed by an old mate or an ex-player that you've played with? Have you ever been refereed by?
No, I don't think I have. Carl's the most recent guy I've played against who's reffing. That's about it.
Now, just a note, he did give 3 yellow cards to Quins.
So, look, I think the main thing is, right, he shouldn't now referee Quins games, not because he's biased. Like, there is no, let's be honest, like, referees, they don't go into those games. Like, they're literally professional. They don't ever go in with that, even subliminally, even subconsciously, and not really thinking. But it's, as we've discussed, the optics. Unfortunately, it brings it up to this idea that it could be controversial, where it doesn't necessarily need to be. So maybe he shouldn't ref Quins games just because he would never ever, he's going to lose whatever happens, right? Because even potentially he sends off Danny Kerr. Are Quins fans going to go, oh, well, he's doing that because he used to play. He's like reffing against Quins because he used to play for Quins, and he's going exactly the other way.
Oh yeah, I suppose that could be a case for that. But yeah, would he be put into a Premiership final where Quins are in it? I don't think so anymore. I think there would be serious questions around it now, especially after this weekend. But anyway, I'm just asking the questions. I'm not pointing the finger or laying the blame on anyone. I'm putting myself in people's shoes. I have a very different mindset. Because, yes, I'm very biased with Glasgow when I'm watching Glasgow play. Like, I want them to win. So...
Yeah, I just feel like he just got the decision kind of wrong. He was looking at the wrong thing, maybe. I think maybe he just missed the push, and that's it. Simple as.
Also, I just love the situation where, hypothetically, in an alternate universe, the poacher turned gamekeeper, we've got Ryan Wilson reffing Glasgow Warriors games.
Imagine it's right.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. You can't send off the 7th player here for the opposition. It's ridiculous.
I feel like Ryan would be a good ref.
I've been coming up with some ideas for the URC actually for content pieces, and one of them was I go and do a day with the referees, and then they make me referee a match.
Yes,
and like I go and referee like an amateur match or something, and watch how shit I am at it. I think it'd be
imagine how hard it is.
Oh,
you're like looking at everything. It's such a mad game of the sport of rugby, and then you've got one official offensively on the field at one time. Like in the NFL, you've got 2 behind the line of scrimmage, another one in the back. Like, it's mental. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, and you imagine it like amateur rugby where you've got on the touchlines. Remember when you were kids and you had like someone from the opposition team on one and someone from the other side? They were completely biased. Giving going so much further for your own kicks. Like, it was so that I think that'd be quite a funny thing to do. Maybe there's people that give the referee shit should have to do that as like there's tackle school. There's tackle school. Well, actually, we're going to film you refereeing straight off the bat. On a Sunday, you've got to go down and referee a match, and we film you and we get to judge you on how you've refereed. That would be so good.
It's difficult. It's so difficult.
Yeah. But talking about other jobs, boys, I'm just going to touch on this really quickly. Last night, right, I've watched rugby over the weekend again, and I'm just, in my head, I'm going, do I just try and get fit again and have another crack at it next season?
Yeah, obviously.
I'm back in this mindset. I even said it to Bex last night. She was like, "Oh, not this again. Not this again."
Do you think, not this? But the minute you hit a pre-season, do you think you just regret it immediately?
Yeah, I do, because that's the first thing I think about. I think about pre-season. I think about Broncos. I think about like running up and down the pitch, just doing like the 80-meter, and then and I'm just like, that'd be so shit.
You
So
know
then
what? You know what happens to me every season though? Whenever I hit like the first pre-season game, I think it was Chiefs this year. I genuinely, the minute I start playing, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard.
Every year for like 10 years.
Like disallow and Roots just running over and over again, and I was just like, I'm not cut out for this. And then the next game, I'm like, I'm down. I'm fine. It's that first game where every time it hits me, I'm like, oh, Gary, I forgot. I'm drowning in oxygen. It's mental. But yeah.
But I'm even, you know what I mean? I'm even thinking just a little MLR fling or something like that. And just
Yeah, mate, absolutely.
Do it.
but it's not a good idea. Like for what I'm going into now, that is a terrible, terrible life choice.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay.
But I'm
you're just becoming the ambassador, Ryan, the ambassador Wilson.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, yeah, it was just a thought. It was just.
And how many times can you send your dog away and take your kids out of school for then potentially not moving?
The dog's not got long left, boys. I'm telling you, he's completely deaf.
That's not my point. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. But he's completely deaf. He's lost the plot.
Right.
Bella even, bless her little soul, my 7-year-old mate got a massive delivery, cut up an Amazon box and put it around his bed because he keeps like falling out his bed. And when we open the back doors, he falls out the back door. She's made a box around his bed. She says, "Oh, Dad, it's so he doesn't fall out his bed anymore." He's dying.
Man, my last dog got to 19 and it was mental. It was doggy dementia left, right, and rhubarb.
God, this is taking a turn, eh?
Yeah, sorry.
Quins to
The saddest movie I've ever watched was Marley and Me on the plane. Right.
Oh, Marley and Me, yeah, or White Fang if you ever watched that as well.
Yeah, I was on the plane. I think it was to like Oz or somewhere back in the day. And the flight attendant came over to me at the end. By the end of it, was like, "Are you okay?" Because I was screaming, like shoulders were going. I was like, "This is the most masochistic, sadistic movie I've ever watched in my life. I'm never watching it again."
Is there something with being on an aeroplane where I get more emotional watching films on an aeroplane?
You feel like there's no one next to you as well. You're like, because you got that like the sound of the pressurized cabin and the turbines going. You've got the headphones in. You're locked in, but you're like literally breathing next to someone else.
It's Marley and Me, which is fair enough. I remember I had one, but it was off the back of like a really heavy stag do, so I was emotional already. And I was watching Interstellar. You know that bit where he did a great movie, but that bit where they go on that planet and then come out and then he gets all the messages. I'm literally that.
As a father, you were like,
like absolutely in floods of tears, uncontrollable tears. And the stewardess is like, "You okay?" I'm like. Then she has a look. It's like it's Interstellar. Like it's a sci-fi movie, mate. Right.
Yeah.
You know?
That's weird. It does weird things to you flying because also you get drunk quicker, don't you? I mean, that's the positive. But yeah.
Sorry, I know we're digressing, but right, have you watched Baby Reindeer?
Oh,
you just said to me, didn't you? You said you just said that, right?
Gary, I wasn't sure what to expect when I started watching that, and then suddenly
it's all over the place.
Enthralled. It was such a human tale of something weird that can happen to you in this life. It was mad.
He stresses me out, the bloke, though. He just keeps going back for more.
He's so self-destructive. I'd be like that. I can't deal with a confrontation, and I'd be like, my compassion and empathy would get the best of me. I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay. Just giving the wrong signals every time. But anyway.
Max, you want to be careful throwing that one out there on the podcast because you could have someone come, like with all these topless photos recently, you could have someone knocking at the door. If you by accident let up your address, I could imagine a Martha at your door, a Martha at the bus stop across from your house.
Oh my God, how scary is she? Incredible acting.
Yeah, it's good, Mark. You've got to watch it. We should start doing film reviews. What the fuck are we doing talking about rugby?
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, but just in case, should we just tackle a couple of other points? At Bath Saracens. I mean, were you happy for that result, Max?
No, I still want. I wanted Bath to win. I just wanted because I know some of the boys that I was just like wanted to see them succeed. But Vaz, gamesmanship on point. He got it done. Mara looked pretty good. Obviously, got the yellow card, but I thought a lot of their big players came through, and in this time of the season, that's what they're going to need. Saracens looking good, but felt like Bath had opportunities to win that game 100%. But I think Sarries deserved that dub in the end.
Were you guys watching it together?
Yeah, we were watching it at the hotel. Yeah, it was. I think we wanted. I think effectively, Sarries winning is better for us. Someone, I think Craner was telling me, but yeah,
it bunches it a bit more. As we were saying, it bunches it upwards. Meanwhile, Sale. I mean, let's be kinder to Newcastle. Obviously, had such a nightmarish weekend against
they
you
didn't
guys.
get 80 put on them. Well done,
Yeah, but it was
Newcastle.
a much better performance at home. So there wouldn't be as much beetroot from Steve Diamond. So fair play to them. And then Exeter winning at Gloucester as well. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I thought. Max was rampant. Saviour, Bosa, Ollie Woodburn, really, really good. Very impressive. Obviously, Slady was pulling strings as well. And then Big Jacques Vermeulen doing bits. He's such a big fella. Absolute Godzilla of a player when he's on. They just gave him so much gain line. Gloucester, a funny one because they had some real good moments as well, but just Exeter had the bit in their teeth. They wanted it bad, but yeah, Saviour Bosa again. Mate, his industry off ball is mad. He's like an extra back rower at times. But yeah, it was actually a pretty good game. Sort of fizzled out towards the end, but both teams having a crack.
They did it because obviously there's coverage of TNT and ITV down at that game, so you could have watched it on both. And he did an interview afterwards for Busso, and you heard him chatting to Topsy Ojo, I think it was, but it was fun. It just made me laugh because he said that sometimes I get overexcited. Sometimes I get over aroused. And I was like, if I'm doing punditry and he says that, I'm digging into that. I was like, sorry, you fucking what?
Yeah, he almost scored this mental try where he's like running through about 3 geezers. I figured out though, it's because of his leverage, like how far he runs off the floor. Pair that with how many horses he's got under the hood. That's what makes him so difficult to tackle. He can run, so he can not sprint with like a knee drop, like centimeters off the ground. It's like impossible for sort of opposite numbers to get hold of him.
But you said he's quite big, though.
No, that's part of it. It's his athleticism
as well. He's got some quads and some glutes on him, like absolute powerhouse. So
like watching him, I was just like, this is like how he leverages his body when he can like at full pace. It's just it's mental. It's mental.
Effectively speaking, with our Prem roundup, it's more or less as things were with 2 games to go, which is incredible because it means that it really is going to come down to the business ends and this next week. And just to touch on that Gloucester defeat, how much is going through their minds that there's Europe and their potential to win a trophy? Do you think?
Yeah, I think that's big for them. That'll make the season that'll make their season 100%. They're playing for something big there for that group of players.
Yeah, but then do you hold off?
Yeah, definitely. That's all they're focusing on. They obviously want to get a bit of momentum going into this week's game against Benetton, but yeah, that's it. That makes their season. If they can go and win even though it's just a Challenge Cup, if they can go and push for that, that's huge. That will have a bearing effect on what the players are thinking, I reckon.
But do you think, because there was, I don't know if I've just made this up, or one of you has said this to me over the years, but that sometimes when you go a bit less, you sometimes increase that chance of getting injured, or is that just, have I just made that up?
No, that's true. Yeah, I reckon if you hold back a bit, you end up getting injured if you don't go full throttle. But
no, the boys are still going. The boys are still going full throttle. Yeah, it's like Ryan says. You just have the mindset sort of shifts when you're playing those sort of games. 100% at the beginning. Sort of that build-up week, etc.
Just before we head to the URC, just going to note again, because we haven't talked about Max's 2 tries in about 6 or 7 minutes. So great stuff, Max. You are the hero and the saviour of Bristol Bears. Can we now talk about another great prop in Owen Frank scoring his first try in almost 5,000 days, 13 and a half years. But which that is, bearing in mind, over 108 caps for the All Blacks, and they have put some points on people in that time. How does that happen?
It's quite wild, isn't it?
Yeah, well, even more so in club rugby. It's a long time to wait. But once they come. Like we were talking about Courtney Laws, weren't we? When he scored his first try in God knows how long this season, and then suddenly he's just scoring tries in Max's saying left, right, and rhubarb. And then look at old mate Lahiff here. He nearly got bagged a hat trick off the bench. Like sometimes it's just you wait for it, and then hey, Franksy mate, they're all coming now. I reckon he'll score a few more now over the next few weeks.
For him. How good, yeah.
Max, do you think at the next in the next game when you're against Saris, you're in the same situation? Is there an element now of like, don't worry, boys, I've got this, and then the lads are like, yeah, what? He's got it. Go win us the game.
Stevie, to be fair, Stevie always, when we're in those sort of like slow pick and go sort of phases, Stevie always calls me up. He's like, ring Ray. He's like gets me on there. So that was part of. To be fair, I was like shouting to people to let me do it instead of.
You see that. You turn round.
With pick and goes, it's like there's definitely like a techers to it, and you don't want the wrong sort of blokes doing it because, simply put, some people are just not effective at picking and going. So you just get the right people to do it. Everyone should have like. Because if you look around the league, there's always like a specialist pick and go. Like if you look at Chiefs, for example, they score a lot of pick and goes, and a lot of that's like Sheffer Scott and Jarvis Mauling, like really, really good technical players who are obviously ginormous as well, but they also have like a decent techers on their pick and go. That's just how it is, yeah.
The other top try scorers, like top try scorer in our league, is Johnny Matthews. It's hookers.
Hookers more. If you've got a good maul, those like good mauling teams, the hookers can be top try scorer, like 100%. Like Harry Thacker's our record. Well, I mean, he scores some other funky aesthetic tries. Don't get me wrong. Like off ball, he's like an extra 9. He runs such amazing support lines, but he's also the man at the back of the maul. And when the maul's purring, the try's coming.
That's it.
Ryan, are you not going to have a go at all at Max giving us the art form of try scoring from pick and goes and giving us?
You watch some teams. There's some guys that like coaches are in there like investing like time and technique into players, like how to do it best and like looking around.
The intricacies around it, Mark. You don't understand. Like clearing past a rack or a speed.
So you got
this guy knows it all. This guy knows it all. Have you seen him at the weekend?
So like
I saw. Yeah.
Teams like when you pick and go, teams are trying to like take bricks out of the wall of the fold. So like cleaners are trying to take bricks out of that wall to stop the fold round. So the next one's fast, and you might beat the fold to score that try, etc. That sort of. Mate, there's nuance, Mark, to the pick and go. I mean, I know it looks like we're just falling over, but
what it felt. It's certainly the second one felt with Steve behind it. It felt like he was there going like
Steve right behind him.
Form up, let's go.
Right up in behind you.
Yeah, and like let's do this.
Up behind you.
So good, bloke. Like in all facets of the game, that bloke is like has incredible IP. Like he's such a clever player. There's so much more to him than just being ginormous and class. He's like one of the most skillful back rowers I played with. He's an absolute freak.
I was sorry, boys. I was busy flicking through the comment section again, and because there was actually Hugo Bertani said, "Thank you so much, guys, for the mention of Luxembourg on episode 40. Great for Luxembourg to get a good win."
It's great. That is great.
I know, and also. We talked about the Bulgarian team. Rory Blackwood's coming and said the scrum half for Bulgaria plays for Oban RFC in Scotland, who are in the West Regional League 1, the league below National 4 in Scotland. So I think that's giving you an idea of where Bulgaria are. But well done, Bulgaria. Keep plugging away. That's where my mind was going.
Right, let's move to the URC. And Ryan, you were around You were there. You were over in Dublin for some of it. You're certainly having a few Guinnesses. I assume some of it was work related.
Some of it was work related. I was doing the Ulster Benetton game on Friday night in the studio, which was lovely there with Andrew Trimble, and it was a good game. Like to and fro, Ulster Benetton. I had Benetton in the bag. I thought they were going to go over there and do the job, but it was a good game. Ulster needed that. Again, we talk about how tight the league is. I'll get it up here, but it's mental at the moment. The URC. You look at the top four. I think the top four have cemented their place. I had to give my top 8 predictions, boys, and after my record on here, I'm starting to think, oh god, this could look bad on TV. Well, no, I was guaranteeing that the top 4 was what it was: Glasgow, Leinster, Munster, Bulls. Like that's pretty much cemented now. I think they've run away with it because then from 5th downwards, it's getting a little bit tighter. But all those teams, just fighting for top 8 space. But Benetton and Ulster are both in there. It's 44. I mean, there's like 1 point between all of them. It's just mental. So it was a good game, actually. Benetton played well, but Ulster managed to clinch that one. And then, a few points of the black stuff. It is different. It's guaranteed to be different, like you said, over on the MAUL, Max.
Stickage and the domage was optimal.
It was optimal. It was up there.
And
I'll tell you now, I am splitting the G like a freaking pro at the moment.
Oh, that's a man who's been in campaigns. I'd expect nothing less. Nothing less.
I've eaten a lot this weekend as well. And then it was and then I was commentating on Zebra versus Glasgow, and obviously I was meant to be pretending like I was in Zebra, but I just can't get my head around it because I can't lie to the people and be like, oh, it's 17 degrees here over in Parma, a full belly of Parma ham. The sun's beating down on us. So that was my one sort of bit of feedback. It was like, you need to pretend you're there. Because apparently some people just thought that the commentators were always there. Would you think that, Max? That the commentators were always at the game?
Well, now that I know the insight of the sort of ins and outs of it, no, but I definitely used to think that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Ryan, that's not something you want to be. You people don't want to think you're just sat with your sweaty gaming chair behind with your trousers down in your fucking basement whilst commentating on a game. We want to think that you're there.
Mark. I mean, I know like what you're up to now. For people that aren't watching this, Mark is currently bottomless. He doesn't have any pants on. Prove that you've got pants on.
I'm not proving that I've got pants on.
I want to see those baggy boxes.
Stand up. Boo. But listen, okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do then. Is Glasgow in 2 or 3 weeks have got a game down in South Africa, and it'll be the same sort of thing. I'm going to go the whole hog. I'm going to be giving it. Oh man, my belly's so full of bravos and prize men. I'm so fucked. And I'm sat here with a castle lager down in South Africa. I'm gonna lie through my teeth.
Actually, to be fair, that's what the world wants to hear. It's as though you were there.
But anyway, back to it. Glasgow versus Zebra. They needed 5 points. It was a ropey start. It took half an hour to break them down. Zebra played pretty well, to be fair. But that Glasgow MAUL, and we talk about hookers scoring tries. Young man Gregor Hiddleston hanging off the back of 2 mauls. He should have probably got a hat trick. And Carl Stain, the captain, goes over for a few. So they were in and out. It was
sorry, again, I digress. Have you been to Zebra?
Yes.
Well, man, last year we had them, and I bought everything at this lovely Italian deli. How good is it? I love the produce there. It's amazing.
I've still got like a brick of Parma ham in my fridge from last year. You can shave it down and you buy all the like the lovely Parmesan cheese. And,
incredible. I love going to Italy. But anyway,
it is so good, isn't it?
It's amazing. Everyone's so happy. Everyone's dressed immaculately as well. And for some reason, the espresso there just hits differently.
Yeah, they just do. They do a lot of things right. I mean, Max, we can talk about it now. There was chat of you at some point going to.
Oh, that's right. I was having. Yeah, there was a little look, but sadly not to be. But yeah, that would.
Yeah, but there was a little bit.
I would have been in my element.
So would we. We would have had to come over and do the
Come
podcast.
over, do the lives. Were you mentally, did you, when the conversation started, were you mentally, when you're like looking around a house or something, you're like putting yourself in that house? Were you putting yourself in Italy?
Buongiorno, tutto bene.
Yeah, I suppose I was. I was hypothesizing. Absolutely.
It's hard.
What was your other? What was Lauren saying? What were the conversations around?
What would I do? What would I do? No, I think she was like pretty. I think she was quite stoked about going somewhere like that. I mean, that's dreamy. Let's be honest, lads. Like you're in either Parma or Treviso. Like,
mate, you wouldn't. Listen, I don't mean any disrespect to Zebre, but you don't want to be at Zebre, mate. Losing every week.
I mean, rugby that would be tough. It would be tough there. But
it would have absolutely brutal. But Benetton, on the other hand, you jump on a train, you're 25 minutes down to Venice. Yeah, that would have been pretty special. But you're staying at Bears, and you're going to win. You're going to win a title this year, so that's more important.
Yeah, mate. As soon as you score a try, also in the Prem final with a pick and go, that's when you get your agent on. Get it in early for next year. Yeah, that is it. Get it in early. Bring in the offers, guys. Do you want to try scoring prop? He's here. Plays at loose head and at tight head if you need. Whatever you need.
Gambles.
So Glasgow boys, by the way, needed Stormers to do them a favour, and they did. They blew away that bomb squad again in Leinster. I mean, how many times has that happened? Back-to-back losses for Leinster.
They just don't treat it the same though, do they? Let's be honest.
They don't, but you've got your guys, your sort of backup squad need to do a better job than that. I mean, Stormers were so good. Geelong.
That switch dummy was. I'll see you later.
And Loader comes on the cut and he dummies it and he goes. And the young boys fall for it. And bought it a kipper, didn't they?
Yeah, I know it's absolutely within teams' rights to send the bomb squads, and obviously Leinster in a real good position, but it's just a bit sad sometimes, and you just kind of want to see the best of the best more often than not. But I understand with Leinster's Croke Park game coming up, Saints, but why they approached it in that fashion. But
yeah, well, that's it. But hey, happy days for Glasgow because obviously Stormers go and win 42-12, and that means Glasgow now sitting nicely at the top by 4 points as well, boys. I feel like a quarter, a semi, and a final back at Glasgow.
How does it? Because does it go home? If you finish top of the tree, you definitely get quarters and semis, right? Same as
and final.
Oh, if you finish top, so if you're Leinster right now, who have lost 2 on the bounce and who are now potentially in danger of being caught by either Munster or the Bulls, that starts meaning quite a lot, right? If you come second, you get a home quarter and a home semi.
Well, yeah, if you obviously win, if you win your quarter, then you end up with a home semi. I don't know if I don't think I've got this wrong, but I'm pretty certain you get a home final. It's the preferred person at the top of the log.
When will Leinster start like fully loading up their next game in the URC?
Well,
they've got Ospreys
got huge game coming up, but Ospreys at home, who they'll blow away with a sort of bomb squad anyway. No disrespect, but Ospreys are coming good. I think Boofy's men are doing a job now, but Leinster, and they'll be all right. They'll still be in and around it. But Munster, the ones that I worry about, they're not a great start to the season, but they just start to build, and they did exactly the same last season. That's when they came and knocked us out. Like Glasgow over at Scotstoun, no one had won there all season, and then Munster came quarter-final, I think it was, and
they win away and away. No, did they win away and away? I thought, right? And then
I think they did.
And then obviously one in South Africa.
Yeah, so they're building nicely as well, Munster. The Bulls are looking dangerous. They want to try and get themselves a home court because it's so hard to go down to Pretoria. So, it's hotting up at the top. But yeah, they did it us a favour. Glasgow at the top. They've got a week off now because no European stuff. And then they go into a double away trip. They've got the Lions and the Bulls away. And then back home at Zebre for the last game of the season. So it's tight at the top of the URC. They're calling it the race for 8. Other notable games in that one, obviously Munster, what we said, Lions did the job there. Cardiff got blown away by Edinburgh. The Bulls destroyed Ospreys after Ospreys had such a good win last week against the Stormers. It wasn't pretty for them.
Boys, let's look ahead to an incredibly tasty set of ties coming up over the weekend, starting with Leinster Northampton in Ireland on Saturday.
82,000 people at Croke Park going. Completely and utterly bonkers.
What do we think? Ryan? Do we think will the Saints go marching in?
Well, I don't know. After Quins has found them out a little bit and found how to break them down, because their defence has been pretty good. I've got Leinster. I just think at Croke Park, with the way that Leinster go, even though they've had 2 losses on the bounce, but they rested all their big guns. Yeah. They're fresh. They're ready to go,
haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah. The Saints are slightly wounded. I don't know. I think we've got Leinster for that one.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I just think Leinster, there's too many. Yeah, there's just so many big dogs playing, and they're all going to be very fresh, playing very
fresh,
playing very well as well. Gibson Park, etc. It's gonna, it could be. I think Leinster get it done.
Sorry to Northampton, because I would like to see them go. I would like to see them go into a final. It'd be quite nice to see. So, but yeah, that's there's our call. Leinster is the team for us. I think they've got too much.
I don't think all the emotional energy, Courtney's final sort of European foray.
His last hurrah. I'm not. It's always, at this stage of the competition, there's always a chance. Absolutely, like the Saints could do it if it sort of becomes a game that is a bit more open. I can see Saints poaching it, but
they won't let it be open. Leinster won't let it be open. I think
they'll just play it.
They just manage to control everything. Yeah,
test match. Yeah, I feel like there's just too many Sturley vets and they're like real test match operators. It's going to be tough.
So you've both predicted a Leinster win. So great, Northampton, an incredible away win this weekend. Fabulous. So good.
See what I did there?
Well done, guys.
By the way, there was a comment as well. Leinster are only going to the Aviva because there's been work done on the RDS. Apparently they'll be back there next season. So thank you very much to whoever that was that gave us that insight. Let's go. Next one.
Toulouse Harlequins. You've written off Harlequins I don't know how many times this season, but come on, do it.
Lads, I have a weird feeling about this game.
No, Max, don't even give me that.
I have a weird. I think it will follow a very similar blueprint to Bordeaux. I feel like up front, that Quinn set piece, especially scrum time, I think they can give Aldegheri and Cyril Bias some serious problems. Genuinely.
What? You reckon Quins are going to blow them away?
Not blow them away. I think it's going to be tight. I think Quins love being underdogs as well. I think it'll be tight, genuinely. And also, you've got that winningness, that willing lightness to compete from helmed by Marcus Smith from Don Brandt. I think it's going to be tight. I think a lot of people have it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Genuinely.
Out of the two games, I'm far more excited about the Quins-Toulouse game, or Toulouse-Quins game than I am about the other one.
As well. I think it's going to be fireworks. Yeah.
And did you see Smog at the weekend on the wing? They made room for Ramos. They stuck him at 15, but Smog ended up on the wing. I've got Toulouse. I've got Toulouse all day long. Down there in Toulouse. Oh, it'd be so good to go down there and watch it.
Oh, wouldn't it just? Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna. Just think for the sake of the pod, I'm gonna go with Quins.
I think Quins have just
they're coming. They're coming.
I know. No. I think their luck's gonna run out. There's gonna be no.
Is this the game? Is it?
I just think, I don't know. There were it was just too. It's always too close. Like Glasgow game, I still feel Glasgow should have won. Right? It's always just too close. The weekend there, they just there was a few bits you're like, oh, and I just think their luck's going to run out. I think Toulouse do the job at home.
They did it all the way through to winning the Prem. Let's not forget a couple of years ago, it kept feeling they were so out of it. And then it was just, their luck didn't run out.
If they can, I feel like if they can disrupt enough set piece ball and just starve out, it's good. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
By the way, I'm playing golf again today, boys, and I'm playing golf again on Wednesday at Trump Turnberry. I'm becoming a pro.
No.
Oh.
What?
When was
Loch Lomond was last week. Yeah, tell us.
Did we talk about that?
No.
It was very good.
Come on, tell us. Mate, this is great. Give us the hit list of people as well that you were with.
Well, yeah, we will be careful how much we say, but I went and I played in a charity golf day for Deborah, not a woman, that's the name of the charity. It's for kids with butterfly effect, which is a skin condition. And it was at Loch Lomond Golf Club, Max. It was incredible. So it's like 150 grand debenture to sign up to this golf club, and then God knows how much to carry on. But I'm down there as one of the celebrities in the golf day. God knows how, boys. God knows how. Cameras, everyone watching on the first tee, and I have topped it straight into the rough just in front of me. It's gone no more than 10 yards. So embarrassing.
You could have thrown it further.
Oh, easily. But the best thing about it was, like, everyone was out warming up, like hitting into the range, going and hitting a few balls, but standing me just chatting away with everyone. I've gone out there cold, got my driver out. I'm like, oh God, please no. And I've even had like nightmares about this, like of being in a charity golf day or like a pro-am, and first tee, everyone watching, the cameras out. And all I thought, imagine missing the ball or topping it. I've done exactly that, boys. It was so embarrassing, but I've just turned around and luckily R4, we were a team. So I went, boys, this is a team game. No one needs to worry. Anyway, good round of golf, hacked it round, but what a beautiful place to go and play. I walk in, Max, you won't have a clue who this is, but I walk into the changing room afterwards, and this is what makes it the best golf course I've ever played. There is a bar in the changing room. So you go and have your shower and you come back out, and Willie, the man that's in there working away, he pours you a freezing cold pint of Tennent's, and it's waiting for you on the table. And everyone sits in the changing room. Rather than the bar, they sit in the changing room having a few pints. John McGinn is in there, the Aston Villa captain, Scotland football player. And he's in there. I walk in, he's like, I love the purple outfit on the weekend. I'm like, John McGinn watches rugby? I was like, oh, legend! He was like, no, he loves his rugby. So had a few pints with John McGinn, then upstairs afterwards, and Gregor Townsend was there actually, Max. But
how was it? Was it frosty?
No, it's fine. It's mid-city like that. Best mates. But yeah, Neil Lennon's there singing karaoke. Neil McCann. It was good. It was good fun. Very good fun.
Do you remember most of it?
No, none of it.
There it is.
Absolutely none of it. But yeah, this is it. I found my calling. If I'm not going back to rugby, I'm fully into golf. So today's the start of that again.
And you were very respectful of being put up there. You in fact, I think you were like, they don't need to change the sheets because you passed out on the chair. Was it next to the bed? Was it?
Yeah. So I woke up. Didn't even need the bed. I mean, they could have just let me sleep in the lobby. I woke up in a chair in my room. So.
What the cup chair?
really, mate. There was a full bottle of whiskey, 12-year-old single malt in your room. And I'm like, do I have to pay for that? They're like, no, that's free. Oh, fuck. But yeah, it was a wonderful day. I want to do more charity golf days, and. But looking forward to it. I think we spoke about it last week. We're definitely going to do this golf idea. I've got some bits in motion. We're going to do it. No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and I think it'll be wonderful content. But anyway, boys, It's been a pleasure. Yeah, let's keep planning.
Lovely. Thank you very much, fellas, and thank you all for listening and watching. And yeah, we will see you all next week.
Peace, baby.
More or nothing.